It's been a while since I've done much of a trip, and the weather's gotten fairly nice. It's going to be pretty warm this weekend, warmer than I want it to be, but still cool enough to do a trip. And my best friend from high school is driving all the way up from Mississippi to come with me, and we're going to float this time from Rush all the way down to Norfork on the White River. We're going to have to shuttle ourselves. It's about 40 miles. We're really excited. I haven't seen him since I was 17 and I'm 37. So 20 years. When I talked to him on the phone, it was just like old times. Tomorrow is opening day of muzzleloader season, and we both have our muzzleloaders. So I'm really excited, and God, I hope he's excited as I am. I think we're about to have a blast. Here.
What's going on?
There he is in his handsome self. Look
All
at
right.
him. 20 years.
20 years,
Dude,
man.
we're pumped.
It's been a while.
All right.
It's been a long while. Too long.
It has.
I'm ready to get the show started.
We're headed to Norfork, and we'll catch you there. Hey, I found some possum grapes. You know, I thought this was a tree before, but now that I look at it a lot, I can tell it's a possum grape. But there they are. With all of the excitement, we just couldn't resist. We had to get on the river today. As we approach Clabber Creek Shoal, it is immediately apparent that the river is very shallow. We decide that the boat just cannot make it over the shoal with us inside, so we line the boat down the left bank. When we got here, it was getting pretty close to dark, but we didn't want to camp at Rush. There's a bunch of people up there. So we got on the river. We had a pretty tough time at Clabber Creek Shoals. It was real shallow, but we made it down, and we stopped just past there and we set up camp. We found some places to string up the hammocks, and we are about to eat these awesome steaks for dinner and then go to bed with some full bellies. Okay, here is the steak. Well, we woke up about an hour ago and we've been collecting firewood, getting the fire going, about to start some coffee, start the breakfast up. Sun hasn't come up yet, but you can see a little light back there. It's really nice looking out here. Got a good little fire going. Got pretty chilly last night. Real heavy dew. Everything else went pretty smoothly. So we're not in a hurry. We're gonna eat and drink some coffee, and then we'll probably head out once the sun comes up, maybe about 9. We'll check back in. Look, Bob and I are looking for water at Boat Creek. We haven't come across any good water yet, but yeah, it's looking pretty dry. So it showed up as a solid line on the map, which made me think that it was going to be water here. So we passed up the other place to get water, and that was really our best spot because it had a spring. So we've got a couple other places to check out. That's about it. We're just chilling. There he is. Well, we're trying to make it to Big Creek before dark, but it's already like 5:45, so I don't know if we're gonna make it. We're probably still like a mile away. The river's barely flowing. We have to get out all the time. So we'll keep you updated. We're gonna keep on going. Although the fall colors aren't on full display at this time of year, the Virginia creeper and the sumac sure are showing out. We paddled hard all day to get down to Big Creek, and we finally made it. It was real late when we made it, and we couldn't find a campsite, so we came down a little ways. It ended up getting dark on us, and we were like really sweating bullets that we weren't going to find a place to hang the hammocks. And then at the last minute, we found a place. Because it was dark and it was kind of last minute, we didn't have a chance to get any video, but our campsite is suboptimal, but it'll do. And we're hoping tomorrow to find a little bit of a better place to settle down, maybe for a couple of days, so we don't have to pack up so much. We're gonna cook some dinner and probably hit the bed as soon as we can. We're just downstream from Big Creek. It's about 7 in the morning. We just woke up. There's a lot of fog out on the river. The river's real low, so we were out of the boat a lot, pulling and pushing yesterday, and it wore us out, so we all slept real well. About to get up and cook some breakfast and make a whole bunch of coffee. Then we got to figure out if we're gonna stay here for the next few days and hunt around here, or if we're gonna pick a different place. Then we'll have to load the boat up and go find a better camp. One thing's for sure is today by 3 p.m. we're gonna have a good camp set up. We're gonna have a good plan for tomorrow. It's been pretty this morning. I feel blessed to be here. We decided that we wanted to explore this area, so we made this a 2-night camp. River. It is probably about 2:30. We're gonna hit this trail. We're probably gonna go 2 or 3 miles on it, and we got these couple of hollows that we're gonna check out and see if we can see any deer. We've got our muzzleloaders with us today. The place that we want to hunt's across the river. The best campsite was on the side where we camped. So we're having to get the canoe across with some of our stuff. And we're just gonna go explore this place and see if it's a good place to hunt, really. Check in with you in a sec. All right, we made it across the river and down the river, and we're in the lower Buffalo Wilderness, and we just loaded up our old black powder rifles, and we're about to go hike and try to intercept this trail that we can hunt off of this afternoon at the end of the day. Sorry, there was a bug on me. And hopefully we get lucky or blessed and we can get us a deer. And we'll let y'all know how things go here probably in about 30 or 45 minutes or possibly an hour. Talk to you soon. All right, we intercepted this horse trail and we're gonna follow it a little ways, and in the direction we go, we believe is opposite of the horse trail, but we really don't know. So we're gonna check that out. It's about 4 o'clock. So we have about 1.5 hours to 2 hours before dark. Maybe 2.5 hours. It's pretty dang hot, but we're having a good time. It's not too bad in the shade. What do you think, Bob?
We've got a little bit of a climb to get, maybe a 1/4 mile climb to get on top of this bench up here. I think we're looking at the map and the topo. There should be a bench up here that we're going to try to get to and see what that looks like, see what the deer sign's like up there. Let's probably start slowing down a little bit when we get up there, find some good sign, and maybe set up on it and hopefully, you know, punch a tag tonight.
All right, let's see that. So Bob saw a buck and I saw 3 does, and we weren't able to get a shot off. Back at the canoe, we're about to load up and we're gonna head across. So it's Monday morning, well, afternoon. It's right around 11:45. We tried our best to break camp early and get on the road or the river, but between eating breakfast and cleaning all our gear and waiting for the dew to evaporate, drinking coffee and then packing everything up. It took a long time. So we are finally back on the river. We're gonna try to make as many miles as we can. We're hoping the flow's gonna be a little bit better since Big Creek is feeding into the river now. So we go down, there's a few more creeks, Middle Creek, and then Leatherwood Creek, and then Brush Creek, and then Gosha Creek, Cow Creek. As all those creeks flow in and we get closer to the White, we're hoping the water gets up so we don't have to drag as much. And we're just gonna try to make up some time. We had a good hunt last night. Sorry, there was a bee. We had a good hunt last night. I saw 3 deer, Bob saw 1, he saw a buck. And yeah, it's been a really good time. It's hot today. And we're just upriver, or just downstream from Big Creek. And we'll see where we make it. Oh, ready, Fred? After a quick stop at Leatherwood Creek for a photo op, we were back on the river. With all the extra water from Big Creek and Leatherwood Creek, the paddling was much easier from here on out. Good Lord, look the size of this brim Bob just caught. My goodness, man. About broke his rod over. Man, that's a monster. Well, it's about 3:15. We just stopped for a little lunch. The river has been up quite a bit today. A lot better than it was. It's still extremely low, but we haven't had to get out but just a couple of times, as opposed to that first 10 miles from Rush being real rough. Lots of dragging and getting out and pulling it around. We're gonna keep on going. We passed Leatherwood Creek not too long ago. It's all dried up. Hit some pretty decent little rapids though. Haven't caught many fish. And we're just gonna keep on headed towards the White River and try to set up camp probably in the next hour and a half to 2 hours. So the river has slowed down again and we're paddling our butts off. I mean, if we weren't paddling, we'd be going 0 miles per hour or upstream. But paddling how much we are without going nuts, we get about 2 miles per hour. So that's about our pace, 2 miles per hour. That's about what it's been all day. We've been on the river since 11:30 and it's probably about 4. I'll take off the river about 5, try to get a good camp set up so we're not hustling at the end of the day like we did the last 2 nights. And we're gonna try to get it all set up before dark. We'll let you know. Okay, you can't really see it, but we rounded the corner and way back in the background is Elephant Head Rock. So we made it to Elephant Head Rock at least. And we're stuck on the gravel boat. With the water being extremely high and our boat being extremely heavy, we decided to portage around this rapid on the way to Elephant Head Rock. We stopped just downstream of Gosha Creek. The water is still really slow, but it's a lot deeper, so it's easier to navigate. And we're not too far from the White River. Having a hard time finding water other than the water in the Buffalo, which we would prefer not to drink, but that's what we have. If you're looking for some trees to hang the hammocks, they look like a nice trail up here, and the terrain looks really good for deer hunting. So we're gonna give that a shot. Well, that campsite didn't work out. We couldn't find a place to put the hammock. Probably gonna have to switch to a tent when I start coming out here. We did find a good spring that's flowing really well, even with this drought. It's at one of my favorite places to hunt, but I can't find anywhere to hang a tree up or hang a hammock up without walking up a big hill. So we're coming to this little spring. We're gonna fill up real quick, and then we're gonna try to go back down to this spot that I camped at last time I was here, right before the White River. Here's what that spring looks like. Well, we made it to my trusty old faithful camp spot that Michael and I camped at back in April. And I think we're gonna be able to make this work. It's a little late. I don't know if you can see the moon back there or not. It's looking a little late. You see it right there. And we're gonna try our best to make this work. So we're gonna get to work putting everything up and hopefully get camp set up before it gets too late. Well, we were able to find a good place to hang the hammocks at the same place that Michael and I hung our hammocks the last time we were here. We got us a fire going. We are about to cook dinner. The hammocks are all hung up. We were just trying to get some coals going, then we're gonna eat dinner. And then hopefully we're gonna hang out around here all day tomorrow and hunt around and then camp out tomorrow night. And then on Wednesday, probably hit the White and run down to this place we call Eagle Song Bluff. And then camp there 2 nights and then we'll probably head home on Friday. So we're gonna let you know how it goes. Have a good night. Well, I just woke up probably about an hour ago. It's October 24th. It's my grandmother's birthday. I've been sitting out here for the past hour or so thinking about her and getting ready to get this day started. I think we're gonna make some coffee and some breakfast and get cleaned up the best we can because we've been out here a long time. And then I think we're gonna cross the river and try to do some hiking over there and see how today goes. We should hit the White River tomorrow. Then we're gonna go to our place that we call Eagle Song Bluff and spend a couple days there, and then we get to go home. I'll let you know how it goes. Anyway, it's a beautiful day. Not feeling too bad. Really starting to feel an element out here. Got a few more days to go. We're gonna hike over to Hosey Hollow today, which is a place I'm familiar with, but this is a kind of a new area in that spot. So I'm really excited. I hope Bob's feeling all right. He's still sleeping. Head back over there in a few minutes, cook some breakfast. We're gonna eat. We're gonna try to clean up the best we can. Then we're gonna head across the river and we're gonna do some exploring. Well, I just went across the river to get to my hunting spot, and I only had to paddle like 10 feet, and the rest of it was wadable in knee-high boots. That's how low the water is. Some people came through earlier, and they had to get out of their boat, and they had a really nice shallow floating boat too, and you could see the water was only like at their ankles. So it's really shallow. This little area over here, I've been really excited to check this out for like over 5 years. And so the fact that it's finally coming to fruition makes me really excited. I'm gonna get up here and take these water clothes off and put on my hunting clothes, and climb up in this creek and put a primer on my muzzleloader, and hopefully we can have a successful afternoon. Bob's gonna stay at camp. I think he's gonna hunt behind the camp just a little ways. His boots put a blister on his left foot. Mine used to work my foot over pretty good too. It took a long time to get them broke in, so maybe by our next trip he'll be all right. For now, I'm just dragging the boat up here. It's gonna be a little bit. I'll get there in about maybe 5-10 minutes. I'll make another video and check in with you. So there's the river that I'm leaving. And here is the little spring that I'm going up. We're gonna get a little bit more water. And then once we get the water, I'm gonna start hunting. So I won't be talking very much. This is what we're looking like so far. I'm gonna go in and pull the boat up as far as I can, then I'm gonna fill up at that little waterfall I showed you yesterday. Thought I found some possum grapes, but it was Virginia creeper berries. I'll keep my eyes peeled though. I'll let y'all know if we're successful. Well, I didn't see any deer. I saw a handful of turkeys roost right close to me, and I saw an armadillo. That's about it. It was a good time though. I gotta push the boat off and I'll be back at camp soon. It's a real long hike, so I'm thirsty. back to camp for some delicious chicken noodle soup prepared by my wife Keely, and the next day we are back on the river. Well, it's about 7:30. Bob and I both just woke up. The fire's going. We're about to get the coffee going. We're going to pack up and hit the river and go to the White River today. Hopefully try to find a camp spot. It's not looking good on the map, but in real life, we're hoping it's a little different. You can see that weird stuff going on right there in the sky. It rained a little bit and it's looking kind of nasty already, so we're expecting to get some rain later today. Try to hurry up and get this food and coffee done and get packed up before rain gets here. It's about 10 o'clock. This is Wednesday. We are headed out. We're going to try to go by Riley's. Our ice is all melted, so this is our 6th day. The ice is not looking good. The stuff's still cold, so we're going to try to paddle on down to Riley's and get some ice. First, we got to go back to that spring back there, and we're going to fill up all our water bottles so we don't have to filter water out of the White River, and the water has been pretty scarce on this trip. Last night was real hot and humid. Small storm come through this morning, and basically I'm burning up and sweating for 3 days straight. Praying for some cooler weather. Tonight, later when you see us, it'll be on the White River. I don't know how the camping's going to be, but we're going to try to find a place to fish and maybe even a place to hunt. Probably camp out 2 nights. All right, we came back to fill up with some water. I got my life straw bag. Bob's got his bag, and then we've got these 2 gallons. We're gonna fill them all up. His is 6 liters, mine's 4, and then those gallons are 4 liters apiece. This is the best water we found on the whole river so far. It's really cold, tasty. So we're gonna fill up, and then hopefully we'll be at Buffalo City at Riley's getting ice in about 2 or 3 hours. We got a snake on our hands. See it? It's maybe a water snake. It's definitely a snake. As we approached the White River, the fishing got significantly better. Well, we made it to the White River. The water is cold. It's windy. Yes, the river is flowing fast. And with our heavy canoe, it wanted to wipe us downstream. And we almost missed getting to the bar to go to Riley's. That's the buffalo that you're seeing right there. That's the downstream for the White. There's this island right here that we got to go around to get to Riley's. That's back behind us back there. And then there's a stream that flows, another branch that flows right through here. Right through here. And then we're gonna come out at the end of this island once we stop by Riley's and get some ice. And then we gotta pick a campsite, and that'll be it. Then we're gonna go home. We need that ice bad. Luckily we got into some smallmouth and a couple of largemouth right before we got to the White. And from here on out, hopefully the fishing's a little better. The water's definitely a lot higher and we're appreciative of it. It's flowing, so we're gonna make good time. So we're gonna head over to Riley's and we'll catch back up with you. Well, we made it to Riley's. Across the swifts and across the islands, there were 3 braids to deal with. We're gonna get some ice, something cold to drink, change out the memory card and GoPro, and we'll be back on the river in a jiff. We went to Riley's. She said they may not even have ice. I got a little worried. She said she'd dig around for us. Found 2 bags. So we just got the cooler all cleaned up and we're back on the White. A couple of miles down the White, and we decided to stop for lunch and to make camp. Yeah. We pulled over on the White River to do a little fishing just downstream of the confluence with the Buffalo. The water's a lot colder, it's a lot deeper, so we're flowing a lot faster. Bob's down there fly fishing. It's hard to see him down there. But getting on the White River is like adding to the newness of the experience. And so, you know, we got here Friday, so we've been here for almost 5 days, or we have been here 5 days. And, you know, floating the Buffalo and dragging all the time and not catching any fish because the water was low, it was getting kind of old. It was fun seeing those deer. Bob's had a blister on his foot, and so he hasn't been able to hike a lot. So it's nice to get to the White River where it's something new. It's a little more developed, and possibly we'll get some phone signal later. I haven't yet. That's about all that's going on right now. We're gonna fish for a little while longer, hit the river, and then try to find a good campsite before too long. We'll get back. Yeah, look like you got a little rainbow. There he is. Goodness, I am hot and sweaty. So we're on the White River. We're just probably a mile or two past the confluence and probably 10 or so miles from Norfork. The White River is rolling. I mean, it's not like high or anything, but it's going a lot faster than the Buffalo. So we figure that 10 miles is going to take about 2.5 to 3.5 hours. So I think after we talked, I think what we want to do is we're going to go ahead and stay here tonight. It's like 3 o'clock now. So it's going to give us a good time to get our camp set up, and we're going to eat, and we're going to organize all our gear and get packed up. And tomorrow morning we're going to head out for Norfork, and we're going to go on and pack up tomorrow. Bob's going to head home, and that's going to give us both a chance to rest for a day or two before we both have to go back to work, which will be good. And hopefully it'll give me a little while to edit the video. Bob's fishing, I'm setting up camp, and we're gonna hit the river tomorrow for the final push to get to Norfork, and then we get to finally go back to Rush and get my truck and then go home. All right. Well, it's Thursday morning. We're about 10 miles from Norfork. Bob just got a fire going. We're gonna eat some oatmeal, drink some coffee, pack everything up. We're gonna spend the day fishing our way down to Norfork, and we're gonna load up and head to Rush and get the truck. We should be back around my house this afternoon, and hopefully we'll both be back in our wives' arms by tomorrow night. Well, we're off. We've been doing a little fishing. We're on the White River now. Probably maybe 9 to 10 miles before we get to Norfork. We're trying to do a little fishing. I'm gonna find my place I call Eagle Song Bluff, where there's an awesome cave on the right bank, and see it from the river, because I've never seen it from this direction. I always hike in from the woods. So we probably got 3 or 4 more hours. We're gonna fish and stuff, and then we're gonna be at Norfork, and then we gotta start that long, arduous process of loading and unloading everything and driving back home. We stopped at this place called Steep Gully, just past Cartney, where Michael and I camped last time, and there's a real nice spring coming down right here, and it is definitely a steep gully. And I'm probably not gonna walk too far up there, but pretty sweet little spot. Look, there's a trail right here for that deer been coming up and down. Man, a good spot. Anyway, we're about to hop back on the river and head to Norfork. I just thought we'd check out Steep Gully. Just got my first phone signal in a really long time, probably like 5 days. We just passed Matney Knob. We're probably just a few miles away from Norfork. The weather's been pretty rough. The wind's been pretty heavy at some times, actually blowing us upstream. So we've been having to paddle real hard. It's about 12:15 or so. We expect to make it to Norfork probably by 1:30, but probably even before then. Then we're gonna load up. And there's a lot of caves over here on this bluff behind me. You can't really tell. And then there was this really cool creek, which it's like there's like a million big creeks in Arkansas, right? But this was another big creek that runs underneath an old train track on the White River. That was real neat. I wasn't able to get a picture because of the wind and everything. Hadn't done real well on the fish. I don't know if we're gonna fish too much more. Bob probably will fish quite a bit. We're about to head out, and we'll check in with you when we get to Norfolk. We just made it down here to Norfolk about 1 o'clock. The wind's been real rough. Bob's going to get the truck. You can see the canoe loaded down for a week or two. I'm sure we look real funny around here with all these folks with the motorboats. All right, we're back at Rush. We just got everything moved over to my truck. Bob is gonna drive all the way home tonight. He's crazy. But I think both our wives are gonna be glad to see us, and so will our kids. And I am just really blown away at how awesome this trip was. And I can't say thank you enough to Bob for coming down here, or up here, and spending such a long time with me away from his family, spending as much money as he did and all his time. And it was a pretty good time.
Yep.
So we will catch y'all on our next adventure, and hopefully that'll be in a state that's out west.
There you go.
This is gonna wrap it up. I hope everybody's having a good day. I just want to say thank you to Bob, Brittany, Keely, and I can't leave out the most important one, God. From our family to yours, thank you for joining us. Please stay tuned for another episode at Ozark Roots.